Hi, I'm Jacob. I'm the project manager of Opposing Views, and our project essentially centred around solving the issue of fake news. So this is an issue where a lot of news sites will show you many articles that conform to the same political biases and other biases as well. And we wanted to break that bubble. So we had to design a plugin, and this is going to suggest articles that have the same topic will give you a more rounded view of this current state of affairs. So I'm going to show you a video. I'm going to show you a video of that working. Which is... Okay, I'm going to talk you through how it works. So what you're going to do is you have a plugin in the top right-hand corner of your screen. You're on a news site. You're going to click it, and it's going to load up, and it's going to suggest 3 articles to you which have a different view. The example we had was with Jeremy Corbyn, first presented in a positive light, and then in a more negative light. So, how do we get you those results? The first stage of our pipeline is content extraction. The main thing we need here is we need the title, the text, and keywords. We tried a lot of different APIs for this, but the keyword extraction was really bad. Like a lot of the meta tags that people use are just really poor. So we use a very simple API Goose in order to get out the text and title. And then we have our own bespoke keyword extraction, which will tokenize the article, remove very common words called stop words. It will then look at what are the least likely words to appear in the article based on a data set of other articles and treat these as keywords. We're also going to cull any names in that don't appear in the title because these tend to lead us astray, and that has a huge knock-on effect to the next stage of the pipeline. So once we know what our keywords are, we have to find similar articles. We use Google and Bing's APIs for this. It would have been nicer to crawl and collect data on news sites and pre-process this, but it didn't really fit into the scope and timescale of our project or the processing power that we have. So instead, we leverage the existing technology. If we don't have enough articles, we reduce the number of keywords we use to expand our search, and maybe even add some more keywords from articles that we've already found in order to make sure that we have 10 to 15. This gives enough of articles that we can identify a range of views. And to identify the view that an article has, we run some heuristics. So we have 3 machine learning classifiers that were trained by our team. We have a political leaning classifier, a strength of opinion classifier, and a sentiment classifier. We even got the data set for the second one ourselves by using the different segments of a news site to label the articles. Once we know what the view are of these articles, we need to see if they're opposing. And so to do that, we have this suitability calculator. This is going to look at the scores of the heuristics on the initial article and each of the similar articles and work out what the difference between them is, the absolute difference. We're going to average out the differences for each of the articles and return the 3 with the highest average difference. So the main challenges with this is that if the keywords aren't good, then we get irrelevant articles, which then appear to be very different to the initial one, and so are therefore presented as opposing, which isn't really what we want, which is why so much time was invested in the bespoke keyword extractor. Latency can also be quite high because we're not pre-processing, and so to solve this, we have a database which caches the heuristic scores, which means that if somebody else has viewed an article that we're suggesting, then you'll get the result much faster, and we also locally cache the whole result. The major issue with this is choosing heuristics that really do capture the view that an article holds. And this is not easy to do, it's not easy to measure. The 3 that we've chosen do really well on strongly opinionated articles and political articles, but perform poorly in other areas, such as sport. This is some future work where somebody else could plug in new classifiers, and our project's extensible, all in the way that it does the other stages, so you could add those very, very easily. So I hope you all got some chance to use our plugin today. This is some user feedback that we received over the course of prior testing and today. So it's very interesting that actually if you present somebody with a left-wing article and then suggest another left-wing article to them, or the same with right-wing, they're actually much happier than if you present them with something truly opposing. And so that's kind of the main issue that we're trying to tackle here, and we hope that given enough time using the plugin, these would all balance out. Now that's all that there's left to say. Say thanks to Matt and Eddie for giving us their project, and thank you to all of you for listening.